dealing with the date and time within JavaScript can be a really tricky thing, and it could be kind of tedious depending on how deep you want to go into manipulating the time. Now, when you're dealing with Laravel, time is really easy because you can use Carbon. It works everywhere throughout the app, whether it's a controller, a model, or the front end using blade files, or even if you're using Livewire or something like that, then the time is really easy to manipulate because it's using Carbon, and Carbon pretty much makes it super easy for you to do. Now, when you're adding a JavaScript front end to Laravel, then you have to kind of figure out how you want to do it. If you really need to update something in real time, then getting the date to come from Laravel through to the front end of that JavaScript framework or whatever it is, it also could be tricky to get it in the real time updating. So if you're getting a notification or anything like that, there's a bunch of tweaking that you do need to do in order to tackle that. So I'm going to show you how to do that using Laravel. And then I'm going to show you this library here, Moment.js, which used to be my go-to for dealing with time on the front end in JavaScript because I typically will use Vue. This is something that I would use to handle the dates and times within the front end because it also deals with locale support and all of these other great things, which is really useful, especially because typically I deal with people from all over the world. There's a variety in timestamps based on where people are located, and looking at a site or whatever it is, you want things to be in their localization. And the reason I don't really recommend it anymore is because it's an outdated system. The tools that go into dealing with it, it's first of all, if you try to install it, it's a massive, massive package. And JavaScript is supposed to make everything seem like it's not taking up all the resources on your website. So having Moment.js isn't really feasible to do anymore, on top of the fact that they are no longer maintaining this package and they recommend that you use something else. Even if you go through their website, they will recommend that you go somewhere else and try something else, and it explains everything to you within the documentation here. What it has done is, I think some developers, I'm not really sure of the history, I very briefly perused this page here, but it explains to you what happened with the developers and what they're doing, where they're moving or whatever, and they actually recommend that you use Luxon. Now, Luxon is really cool because it does the exact same thing, but it's far more lightweight. It also has the international support as well as native time zone and other different things, and it works pretty much similarly. So what I want to do today is I want to go through how we would do it through Laravel. And then I want to go how we would do it through Moment.js, because if that's something that you decide to do, or if you run into a project that has Moment.js and can't switch to Luxon, or hasn't been switched to Luxon yet, or switch to something else outside of Moment.js, then I want you to be able to know how to interact with it and to see what differences we have and if we can get things to be exactly the same, which is something that we're going to do. And we're also going to do it with Luxon so that we can now learn how to use Luxon. And the documentation is pretty good. It can be a bit tricky, but I'm going to walk you through some things to kind of help guide you in getting the things that you need to get. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and start with the Laravel, and then we're going to go and work on these other libraries. As you can see here, I already have a Laravel project instantiated, and there's really nothing in here, but what I did do was I installed it with Jetstream so that it could easily have Vue on the front end. And even though we're not using authentication, it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to be able to have the Vue front end and set it up so that I don't have to manually do it. And that's really why I've chosen Jetstream to do that. If we go to package.json, you can see here we have the inertia with the Vue 3 that's being linked with Jetstream and what have you, but it's very basic. In here, we have Vite included, we have Tailwind included, and Vue obviously included. I want to go ahead and first set us up with some data so that we can start working with this. And the easiest thing for us to do is to go to the app models user model, and I'm just going to make us a bunch of users because it has all the information here, and we can deal with the date and time right on this model. So let's go ahead and go to the Cedar and use that. I'm going to comment this one out because I don't want it to create a specific one. I want to use the factory to just create random users, and we'll leave it at that. Go ahead, save that, open a terminal, and then do PHP artisan db seed. So this is going to seed 10 users for us. So so that we have something to work with. Now that we have our 10 users, we can go ahead and display them on the front end. So I'm going to go ahead to our web routes so that we can use it. And I'm going to comment these out because we're not going to be needing them. I'm going to get rid of this, and this will just be users. So instead of route has login, we can now change this to user. When we import that, get. And this will just grab us all 10 users. So let's go ahead, close this. And for now, we can close the model. And what I want to do here is I just want to make sure that in our welcome view that we can see that. I'm going to go ahead, get rid of all of this. Well, I'll get rid of these. We'll say users, and users is of type array, which means we're not going to need this function. And we can also get rid of this head because we're not going to be needing that. And anything that we need, we can go ahead and bring it in just one at a time. Line that up so it looks good. And all this stuff we can get rid of. Get rid of the head as well. For now, I just want to make sure that we can see users on the page. Okay, let's take a look at the browser and see what we have. Okay, good. So it looks like we have all of our users, and we're going to go ahead and style this up a bit. We're not going to need all this information, so we can just kind of limit this down to the created at timestamps that we have. So let's go back into the terminal and sort out some styling for this. Now, because as I said, we're going to keep this as simple as possible, I just want a div with the class of min height screen, just so that it can take up the whole section in there. And then I want another div with some classes on it, and we'll do flex, justify, around, items, center, and then minimum height, also screen. And we're going to do this really simply, like I said. So we're just going to grab a table, and we're going to need a T head. And of course, we need a TR class. We'll do TR with classes of text green 600, text 2XL, and then font semi-bold. And all we're going to do here is put Laravel, and that'll be our little bit of a title. And we're going to need another TR. There's not going to be any styling on it, but we are going to go ahead and have two THs. And the first one is just going to say name, so it'll be the user's name, and then we'll just say created. Cool, so let's just make sure that we're getting this and that everything is working the way it's supposed to. Okay, great. So it looks really janky. It's fine, doesn't really matter. We're going to continue to sort this out. Now under the T head, I'm going to have a T body, and this is also going to have a T row. And then we're going to have two TDs for the data times 2. On this T row here, we're going to V4 over it, our users. So we'll say user index in users. The key will be fine. Here we can do user name. And here will be user created at. And on here, I just want to add a class of PL4 for padding left, and let's see what we have now. Okay, so there we go. We have now what's the Unix timestamp for the users, which is coming straight from the database, as well as the username so that we can see who they are and when they were created. As I said, Laravel makes this super easy. All we have to do is go into the model and reformat this. Now, because as I said, Laravel makes this super easy. So we can go back to that user model, and where we are casting our attributes that are going to be cast alongside all of the other information from the user, where it has changed the time to date time, and the password has been hashed so that it's not seen on the front end. If you do it correctly, it's not seen on the front end, or it's hashed on the front end. Something that we can do is just leverage Carbon. So we can do created at equals and it'll also be date time. But because it's going to be formatted here, we're going to do the month, the year, and the year. And this is how I want to format it. So I just want to see really quickly what this is going to look like now. So from here, we can go ahead, refresh the page. And as you can see, we have the month, the date, and the year. And this is the format that I wanted to use it in specifically. This is a typical US format for dates. You can shorten stuff and do all of that. But what you can do is you can look at the Carbon documentation to see exactly how you would want to format this in whatever way that you want to do. This is how I'm going to do it for this particular lesson. The next thing I want to do is I want to do the same thing, but I want to do it with Moment.js. Now from here, it's going to be a really easy install. I'm going to be using NPM, so I'm going to grab it from here and I'm going to install it instead of using the CDNs because I want you to see how this works with it in your project. So I'm going to copy that. And then here I'm going to open up the terminal, paste that in, go ahead, install it. And as you can see, 52 packages, or it's added 2 packages, it's audited 218, and it has been installed into our project. It is using version 2.30, which is probably never going to change. So that's what that is. I am going to come over here. I am going to exit out of this, and then we're going to go back to our welcome component, and we are going to start figuring out how we're going to do this. Now, because I don't want to use Moment globally for this project, I just want to use it within the component. I'm going to import it right in here. And here we can do import Moment from Moment. That's it. Make some space there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a function. And this function, I'm going to call it Moment Time. And I'm going to say that that equals an item. And that item we're going to be passing in through the template. We'll do that in a moment. But for now, that's what it is. Here I'm going to return Moment with the item in it. And then I want to format it, and that's what we're going to do. So I want to have the same type of format that we have with the Laravel date and time, which means that here I can do 4 M's, the D, and the year. Basically, that's just saying we want the date, the number date, and the 4-digit year, which will be 2025 or whatever it is. So let's come down here. I am going to copy this table. And under here, I'm going to paste it, and then we're just going to make the appropriate changes for it. So for the title of this one, I'm just going to call this one Moment.js so that you know which one it is. The name created at is the same. So is the info that we're looping over, which is the users. Now that we've created that function, we can actually wrap this in some parentheses. And now we can say Moment Time is that user created at. So this is the item that we're passing in up here to the Moment Time function. So I'm going to go ahead, save that. And it looks like I have an error. So let's go back and make sure that I didn't mistype something in there. And I am, yes, there's supposed to be a close parenthesis. So hopefully that should fix that. And I'll change the color for this also. But as you can see, we have the same formatted date and time that we do on here. Great. So now when it comes to Moment.js and the formatting, you can take a look at the documentation and it shows you pretty much how it works. It also has updated time and everything is pretty much set out for you. All you have to do is put the correct formatting in and it'll come out the way that you want. But if you take a look at this, you can see that there are multiple ways of doing it and different ways to set this up. And as I said, it also has localization, which you can change some things on there. But I do believe that you have to also install with locales. So instead of this Moment.js, you would install Moment with locales, and that would bring you the information that you need for this. So it would be an even bigger package, but these are all the languages that it covers. As I said, I'm going to leave this link in the documentation for you so you can take a look if this is something that you're interested in doing. Now let's go ahead to Luxon and see what we need to do. We can come to the install guide right here, and here are the different ways of doing it. There's also a CDN, and we can also just grab this. And then this is the constant that we're going to do, which is the date time require Luxon. So let's go ahead and bring that into our project so that we can see what it is we're doing. Now, before we do that, I do want to change the color on this just to keep them separate. And this one I'm just going to change to red. Let's go ahead and open up the terminal, paste that in, let it run. Okay, and it's installed Luxon. I'm going to exit out of that. And if we come down to our package.json, as you can see here, we have Luxon right here, and it is using version 3.5. So let's come up here and let's do the import that we need for this. So to do this, we can just import date time, and then we'll just do it from Luxon. And then I'm going to grab this moment time and we're going to copy it. And instead of moment time, this is going to be Luxon time. Here we are going to do return date time. And then here we need to do from ISO, because the date that we have coming back from the database is actually an ISO. So I'm going to go ahead, get rid of that. And then instead of format like this, it's going to be to format. And then there are 4 M's again, and this is a little d, and these are little y's. Let's go ahead and grab this now. And then we're just going to duplicate this again. Then instead of red, this is going to be blue. And this is just going to be from Luxon. So everything else is the same, but instead of moment time, it's going to be Luxon time. Let's go ahead and take a look. And it looks like I forgot to add from there. Let's try it again. Okay, look at that. We have invalid date time. And if we open up the inspect tools and go to console, let's see. Well, it's saying that the value provided is not a recognized ISO format, right? And that's absolutely true, because remember, we changed the created at to be formatted to this. So it's no longer coming through as an ISO. And if we open up the Vue DevTools, great. Go to components, welcome, and open this up. You see we have our users coming in here. And now the created at is February 15th, 2025 instead of, well, that can't be right. But anyway, we have that coming through instead of the Unix timestamp in here. So fine. How can we get around this without having to manipulate too much data? Let's go back to the terminal and see what we can do. Well, the date and times that we are using for Moment, Luxon, and for Laravel are actually the user created at time. If we go to the user model, as I said, we changed that to this function. What I want to do is I want to change this, and I want to make it so that we can use this created at unformatted, with the exception of how it comes through from the database, and we can manipulate it through that with all of the 3 working okay. So I'm going to comment this out, and I want to use an attribute. Let me copy this as well. And we're not going to return anything like that. Instead of having get the attributes, we can say get the users formatted, created at, just so that we know exactly what we're getting with this function. Now, this function isn't going to be a public function. It's going to be a protected function. And the function, I want to call it created format. So we can get rid of this in here. And then we're going to use Laravel's attribute helper, which is this one, I believe. Make sure I imported the correct one. Eloquent casts attribute. Correct. So now here, we'll just return new attribute. And what we're going to do is we are going to change this so that Laravel can use it just fine, but we don't touch our created at so that everything else can just use it from the database, and no matter what front end you're using. Here we can just return the new attribute, and we'll do fn for function. We're going to pass in the value. We're also going to pass in the attributes. And then we're going to say that equals to carbon, and make sure to import carbon. We'll say create. And here we can put attributes created at, and now we can format it. We'll format it to FJY. Let's go up here, make sure it's imported carbon. We'll save that. And now let's go back to the browser and see what's going on in there. So I am going to just make that a bit smaller, and I'm going to refresh it. And now you can see the only one that we have that has a Unix timestamp is the one that's coming from Laravel. The one that's coming from Moment.js is the correct formatted date, and so is the one coming from Luxon now because it's using the ISO from the database. And if we open this up, you can see that now the created at has gone back to the standard default timestamp that it had before. Great. Now we can close this, and now to make this timestamp be the same as these timestamps is now we can just use that created format attribute that we used. And actually, let me open this up so that we can see what that looks like. If we go to the component and go to users, we'll go to one user, you can see that now, well, actually, we don't even have it in here anymore. It is getting the time, but that new attribute isn't here, so we can't do anything with that attribute format that we made. Let's go and fix that. In here, we'll go back to the model, and now we need to append it. We need to append it so that we can see it. So we would append it by doing created format, and that created format is taking this function name and making it so that we can use that on the front end. So now let's save that and let's see the browser again. Go ahead, refresh this, open up our component, go to our users, we'll pick a user, and now you can see we have the created format that is February 15th, 2025. And this created format is what we can use on the JavaScript front end for this Laravel section that we have here. Now, if we go back to the welcome component, we'll go up to where we have our Laravel displaying, and instead of the created at here, we can do created format. Now we should be good. Okay, now I can go ahead and close this. And as you can see, now we have the correct dates for all of these. And I know these are two different dates, but I think that has something to do with, I need to fix the time situation going on my actual system. But as you can see, the formatting is the exact same, and that's pretty much what we wanted because these were all seeded with the same information. The other thing I want to take a look at is using the international formatting for Luxon. As I said, this is more the Americanized way, but we can do it where we don't have to install anything differently than a basic install, unlike Moment where we had to install a different Moment version that was localized. So if we take a look at the Luxon documentation and we go down a bit, we can go to international, and then we can do setting locale, and then the locale will be France or something along those lines. But the date and time will have whatever the date is in the locale format. So let's go and see if we can do something like this within our project. So in here, if we go up to the Luxon date time, I'm just going to comment this out really quick, and then we'll return date time from ISO. We're going to pass in the item just like we did up top, but instead we're going to set the locale to France, and then we'll say to locale string. We'll save that, and then now let's see what we have. Okay, so if you see, this is the more localized format for France, which has basically it looking like this. And you can also tweak that formatting as well, however you want to do it. Just go ahead and take a look at the docs and test things and work with things and just kind of see. And if you wanted to work on something where you had locale for specific people based on their operating systems or their location or whatever languages that they set or locale that they set, then that's something that you could do with setting cookies or however you want to do it. That's a whole other beast of a conversation, but at least you get the idea on the differences in these three and why you probably wouldn't want to use Moment.js anymore. But if you have to, then, it's still pretty simple. Everything is still going to work. It's just not great, right? But Luxon is a good alternative for that. If you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and click that like button, as it really does help out the channel. Here's a video YouTube thinks you'll like, and here's a playlist to follow along. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.